Savor the flavor. Flavor saver.
Savor the flavor. I guess that's a normal one. I thought it was just gonna be like off the wall some shit. I'm like, oh no, not this pig shit again.
Not pig fucking.
Oh my gosh, hey man, you do you, boo boo. Right. I'm not here to judge you, bro.
It's pig.
I can't. You need a shirt like that, Goose. You need a. Oh my god! Shut the fuck up. Oh Jesus, bro.
Oh wait, are we live?
Yeah.
It's called a J-Pie warning, guys. It's called a J-Pie warning.
I thought we stopped doing those. Like what?
Honestly, I need them. The first thing that comes into the stream is me going, grease them up, boys. We're going in.
Hey, I thought you caught the hint. I'm sorry. I apologize. Oh man. But no, what's up, guys? Welcome back to this week's episode of the Fault Partner Panel. I just want to give a quick little shout out to these guys, are technically on the screen. These guys right here for not last week, but the week before, they did that shit without me. I'll be real with you. I was half expecting shit to go haywire. I was like, all right, y'all got it. But then I low key turned on my phone and kept it. I was like, is it going good? Are they okay? Do they need me? I was like, yeah, I was straight tripping balls, bro. And then, but y'all killed it. Y'all killed that shit.
So I don't think we killed it, but I thought we did all right with the situation. But
no, I mean, I can tell you as the spectator that I ended up being, right? Because I was just panicking watching the whole time. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You guys did a great job. I literally was just sitting there watching. You guys brought up some points that I was like, fuck, I gotta pick up my phone and type at this bitch. Oh my God, I don't even feel well. But I gotta say some shit right here, bro. Like I'm not gonna let them say that. That's ludicrous. I don't even use that word, but that was ludicrous. Like, but I can't. This man said luda. But no, y'all did great. Y'all did great. Shout out to you guys. But we got a couple things to talk about, right? We're gonna talk about Fault and their, let's just say, sudden shyness, right? We'll go into that a little bit later, right? And then we're also going to talk about a bit of a roadmap that was actually created by a community member, right?
No, they took the roadmap that they put. It was like blog 7.
Oh, like the OG one. Okay.
They took that roadmap and then they went through and edited it. And then they also like said what's been done, what needs work, and stuff like that. Kind of went through and put all that stuff in.
Nice.
And where we're at, kind of updated the roadmap as we are.
Okay, but that was community done, not Strange Matters that did it, right?
No, this was a fan, a community member, that went in and did it themselves.
Still super cool, right?
Yes.
So we're gonna talk about that for a little bit, but before we actually go deep into anything, let's let these gents introduce themselves. In case you guys don't know, let's start with Mangoose, then Bearded, then myself. Introduce yourself, please.
What's up, everybody? I'm the Mangoose. You are awesome, and always remember, the towers are just pain leaving the body. Over to you, Bearded.
Yes. Oh my gosh, dude, I died so hard when we were in gaming, and you said that.
It makes just enough sense that you get it, but it's still
yeah,
but it's not.
You get it. No, you get it because every time somebody told you that shit didn't make sense right back then either. You were like,
pain is just weakness leaving the body.
Whatever the fuck that means, I hurt, bitch. Like,
yeah. I'm full of weakness. All right.
Oh man, I can't. I fucking can't.
Right. What's going on, everybody? I'm the Bearded Wolverine, your Michigan Wonder. Excited to be here. Also, Fault Partner doing this partner panel, and Windu.
Oh, is that how you're gonna segue me in? I thought you were in the middle of a sentence. What the fuck was that?
I was fucking up. There's no reason for me to fuck up anymore. Might as well just hand it over.
Oh my gosh, what's up, guys? I'm Windu, also known as WinduTheMace. We are all Fault partners, but we do cover pretty much every third-person MOBA that comes out, essentially, right? We have this relationship with Fault that we've built over the years at this point, quite frankly, right? So we do our best to give our opinions, biased and unbiased, right? Like we try our best to keep it unbiased, but we all know that we want this game to succeed along with many other games. So this podcast is criticism. Yes. Heavy constructive criticism, and we all disagree on a lot of shit. So you guys will hear that throughout. But that's the whole goal of this conversation, right? Like the whole goal of this podcast is to make sure that we talk about the things that need to be talked about. Which I'm gonna go right into something that just upsets me. Why the fuck haven't they posted anything on social media, bro?
And we almost got into this before.
Yeah. Like we literally, before we went live, it's like, hey, chill out. We talk about this later.
I think it makes perfect sense for them to go quiet during the Overprime closed beta test, because anything they put out, people are going to somewhat ignore because people are just mainly paying attention to Overprime because it's the new hotness right now. So like for them to release any information right now, it would be like releasing, it's like when a really good movie flies under the radar because it releases the same weekend as like an Avengers movie or some shit. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't mean that movie's bad, but people are going to be all hyped up for fucking Avengers and they're not.
So I don't completely disagree with you, Mangoose. I don't agree with Windu about being upset with it, but I do disagree with you, Mangoose, on the timing of it. They've been quiet even before the closed beta started. Like they haven't posted anything on the socials even before this happened. So that's even the quietest. But the reason I don't disagree with you and them being okay with it happening is because just look at the history of SMS. When SMS has a huge patch coming, they're quiet. They literally, go into submarine mode, no talking, nothing going on. We're just going to be quiet. We're going to, was that nose to the grindstone, thing they say or whatever. And that's what I suspect is happening because they don't have, they've been keeping up on this like patch every 2 weeks, updating the game, whether it just be a balance patch, whether it be whatever. They've been doing a patch every 2 weeks. Well, now it's been like 22 days since anything's happened, since their last patch, not counting the hot fixes, right? Hot fixes don't count. So that to me says that it's, like there's something big coming.
That worries me. If there is something big coming, because I want better things to come to fall, right? But by the time that Overprime ends, I don't want a big patch right after the Overprime beta ends. Give me at least a week or two of just steady, like as balanced as possible, as smooth gameplay as possible, so that people that still have that Overprime hype can try fall. You get me? I don't want a big patch that might bring bugs, that might bring glitches the moment other people are looking for something. No, I
agree. I completely agree with that because we've had that issue. Like with, what was it, 14? When 14 dropped, all of a sudden just had optimization issues horribly, So no, I completely agree with that. Like let's just have a good amount of time, because just when Predecessor did their stress tests, right? We had numbers come over from there. There was an increase of new players when Predecessor came over, when Predecessor stopped their stress test. So I would assume that there's going to be some numbers when Overprime stops theirs. So let's let those numbers kind of come in when those numbers start. It's like popcorn, right? When you're making a bag of popcorn, you have that pop. And then when you start hearing it like the slowly not popping anymore, then you don't let the timer keep going. You stop it because you're just going to burn the popcorn. All right. When those numbers slowly start dwindling in. All right. Now let's drop that patch.
I like burning popcorn.
I can't with them, bro.
You were the only one.
Bro, right? Red Clown in chat says they need something for the Overprime players to catch their eyes. I don't disagree, but that doesn't mean it has to be something new. Proper marketing, gameplay footage, you know what I mean? Like there's plenty that they could do to reel people in without having to do something major.
I think a lot of that comes down to us as content creators. Because I know during this Overprime CBT, I've picked up a shitload of subscribers. like, and a lot of new visibility on my channel. So those people are going to be watching my videos. Once they see me release a fault video, they're going to be like, oh shit, oh, that doesn't look that bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
Probably with you.
Even not even just the videos. I mean, obviously, Mangoose, you're the YouTube creator, right? But with me, like I've had people, I was playing Overprime. I had somebody come into my stream and said, "Is this Paragon?" And I explained to him that no, it's a remake. Then I also gave him the explanation of all of them. Like, hey, there's these ones, look into them, pay attention to these, and this is what we got. Like currently, this one's live for 11 days. The other one's going to, Fault is live, as is. You got to pay $10, and then Pred, we're waiting to see what happens. And I've updated on all three of them. I didn't it's not like I favored one or the other. I gave them all the information, all of them. And then I told them, gave my Discord, and I told them, hey, follow here. You'll get more information, stuff like that. So, yeah, as long as you get people like that, just put all the information out there, they'll all learn.
I mean, you guys aren't wrong, at all, right? Especially the whole us as content creators. Because I think that here's the thing. I think that spike in our growth in content creation because of these games, and that spike of moving forward in progression, and more people running into the game, I think that's just all part of the same bag. You get me? I wouldn't sit here and be like, hey, the flow that content creators get is a different flow from the flow of people that are playing the game. You get me? Like Strange Matters has to look at it and be like, hey, at the end of the day, they can consider where each one came from if they have a way to track it. I'm not sure if they even have that set up, quite frankly. But if they have a way to track it, they can, look at the analytics and be like, hey, this is where traffic came from. But at the end of the day, what matters is the fact that there's traffic, how they keep it, how they increase that flow of traffic. And from that point, I just haven't seen them do much besides release a picture of the Gideon masteries, the top 10, right? A week and a day ago, a week, 2 days ago, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a really weird post.
It was.
It felt forced.
Completely out of
it doesn't
nowhere.
It doesn't even make sense. Why are you showing what does that do?
And as I said on FTM, what's his name? Seven Heaven. I'm faced him in lane. I shouldn't be facing somebody with that much experience on Gideon. At my skill level, I should not be facing that.
Even if that's the experience, I don't it just doesn't. What was the point of the post? I don't get it. Are they teasing that they're gonna have more mastery stuff coming? I don't what is the point of you giving me that?
Can you imagine mastery race for Gideon? Hello?
yeah, they're already there. They already win. It didn't make sense to me.
It's like getting socks on Christmas. Thanks, SMS. This is nice.
Getting socks.
That is so funny because I hate getting clothes for Christmas. That's what my grandma does. All right. So my mom was like, hey, we're gonna get the kids these for Christmas. I'm like, no. Why would we do? No, that's what grandmas are for. That's what they'll get the clothes. We're going to get toys and shit. That's what we do. What? No. She doesn't understand it.
But yeah. That's my thing on it, man. I understand. Let's lay low while there's an Avengers movie, to go back to that example, right? That makes perfect sense. If Call of Duty's coming out, you're not going to drop a big patch the day after. You get me? There's just, you try your best to coordinate, for sure. I get that.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you have to stop all engines. You know what I'm saying? You could still have community interaction. You could still ask a question and say, and it's yo, post sick clips. Our favorite gets a shout out. And then the comment section is full of clips and they post one. There's stuff they could do.
Predecessor's still posting things on their social medias.
Bro, Predecessor social media is active on a daily, whether it be teasing, whether it be trolling. Well, I mean, the fact that they're active. Their account is commenting and interacting and answering questions and stuff like that constantly. You get me? I get the Predecessor account to pop up on my Twitter probably the most out of all three of them right now, to be real with you. At one point, it was Overprime, like crazy. I guess because of the closed beta, maybe they've kind of gotten a steady pace because they're still there. But I don't know, just interaction, right?
Ryan Red had a great idea that he had implemented where, I mean, you were involved with it, Windu, where we were just playing games and trying to get some clips.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he went far enough with it, though. I wish he would have given me the clips because I recorded I thought the whole idea was for everybody to record their version, and then we could put all the clips together and make a tight little clip that they could put up. But it's just one person's clip. Like your clip, you got like a double kill with Feng Mao. Like I had the clip,
the funny clip,
over the top, and hitting them with the Gideon ult, and then you had other people coming in doing other shit that also recorded. We could have had 3 different views of that same play, all leading up to the kill. It would have been a really cool little thing to post. But they just post one person's perspective. Ryan, get with me, bro. Give me these clips. I'll edit this shit up. I'll make it nice for you. I'll make
that would be great. That would be great.
An official offer.
Oh,
Brian. Yeah. Hit up the goose. He wants a paycheck though. I'm gonna like.
So, unless you guys still want to beat up social media, we can continue that. But if not, we can move past it. Yeah. I want to ask you guys, when it comes to making a game, a MOBA, a third person MOBA, how do you guys feel about a backpedaling penalty? So if you're running backwards, you get a slow penalty or whatever. You don't run as fast as you do forwards. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
100% needed.
Windu?
I think it's standard. Like actually normal as fuck. But as a carry main, yeah, if you don't got that, that's a little strong. If it's not there, I'm gonna be real with you.
Could you imagine if Twin Blast didn't have a backpedal penalty with a boost?
As obvious as this is to me, because I 100% agree with you guys. Like this is a thing. Like that's like it's just there, right? Like it's like this was literally a conversation in one of the Discords, and I'm like, and I'm one of 2 people that argued for this. Everybody else is saying no, don't do this. Don't put it into the game. Do not have it. I'm like, I'm confused. What? I was so lost. I literally was baffled that like all these people are against having a backpedaling penalty.
There's a bunch of range mains against the
literally.
I would love that on Gideon, sure, but it
right, like
it's over every melee so hard. Like I don't think people realize how bad that would screw melee heroes over.
But it literally does sound like a bunch of people that just want to take advantage of it, and that it's like, hey man, it's not gonna happen to me. I'm a Bellica. Like, you feel me? I'm so sorry.
So my reason for saying that it's needed is because of was positioning, right? As like it needs to be something because it takes the skill out of it, the skill of positioning, right? If you need to positioning and also being able to map awareness, right? If you go and you get yourself out of position, you should not be able to just backpedal and dodge everything because you're watching them the whole time. Yeah, as they're throwing things at you because you were out of position, but you're able to run full speed backwards and you're able to see how things are going. If you get yourself out of that position, you should have to turn around and run away and not be able to see what's going on and try to dodge things that way. That's the way things should be happening. As like it's part of the game. Like that to me, that's the skill behind it. Like I don't understand why it's like, nope, you should be able to watch it the whole time and to go full speed. I'm like that. I'm confused. I don't understand why people are okay with that.
I mean, that's a standard even in MOBAs. Like World of Warcraft, there's a backpedal penalty for PvP. It kind of factors into PvE for raids and shit too. It just makes sense.
Or go play Call of Duty. That has a backpedaling penalty. Like it's just. Here's the thing. I don't understand why individuals would try to argue a point that maybe even deep inside they know it's not good for the game just because it's something that they want to abuse. You get me? Like I promise if you went in there and said, yo, what if we took off all cooldowns? bunch of people like, hell yeah, let's fucking do it. Cooldowns are stupid. And it's like, do me a favor, shut the fuck up. Like, that's me, legit. Like, I'm just like, yo, I'm gonna be real with you. Somebody making arguments like that, his burger is more important than you.
I've had this feeling for a while now. All three of these games seem to be being designed by ADC mains for real. Like everything.
You think so? I could have said the same thing about Gideon mains, bro. They're all Gideon mains.
Oh, bro. Gideon and Overprime? He's not broken at all.
Gideon and Overprime, Gideon and Predecessor, Gideon and Fall for the first year. Like, bro, Gideon mains are executives. Change my mind. Oh my god, bro. So, Bearded, just out of curiosity, just to entertain it.
Yep.
What were some of the actual kind of arguments that those people were giving you?
I was just gonna pull it up. So says if you have a backpedal penalty that applies even if you aren't autoing, then aggressive plays always win. Even needing to walk towards your own tower becomes a risk. Even more in a melee range matchup where disengaging from a trade becomes an incredible hassle. And then it says,
what?
The whole first part of that, I was like, they know they can ward, right? Like aggressive attacks.
If you think you'd love that, imagine someone picked Murdock solo against you as a steal. You walk up, do your combo, then die if you're the steal.
That sounds like a steal problem, right?
What does that have to do with backpedaling?
Well, because you because if you try to backpedal, it's the whole thing is them not have to run away from turn and run. Because if you turn and run from Murdock, then you're going to, they're basically saying that you're just going to get shot to death. You should be able to backpedal.
Yeah, but if you're
hold on.
And be able to
wait. If you're steal, you did your combo, they're not dead, and you're trying to get out of there. Why does looking at them help you as a steal? What the fuck are you accomplishing? It's like
literally, oh my god. I can usually see another person's side of an argument, and I'll hardly ever call someone's argument dumb. That's fucking stupid. What's the difference between turning tail and run or backing up and running?
You can see the shit hitting you, I guess. I don't know.
You're able to kite, I guess, is their whole point. Is they're able to kite.
It's not an animation that he pumps a shotgun so I know when he's going to shoot. If I'm going to bob and weave to try and dodge him, then I'll bob and weave whether I'm running backwards or forwards.
Oh, man.
It's not like I'm looking for a particular animation to dodge. I'm not that fucking good that I can see the twitch of his finger as he pulls the trigger.
Hey, I'm just saying, out of this conversation, there's probably a good 8 to 10 of us having this conversation, and only me and somebody else agreed that backpedaling should have a penalty, and everybody else is like, nope, we don't want it in the game. Because if I remember correctly, in Predecessor, there is not a backpedaling penalty as of right now.
At all?
Yeah, these are the same guys that want an easy fuck jungle and execute mechanics on
the auto smite.
Rarely will I take a shot at other communities, but I'm going to take a shot right now because that's dumb. Like, there needs to be a backpedal penalty. Like, that's just, I don't know. That just makes too much sense for me.
Well, I think
that's what
Mango said. Hit the nail on the head. Like, I think it's a skill difference thing, right? Like, they might just be looking for the easier alternative overall and just trying to find ways for these devs to, just make it... I don't want to use the word dumbed down, right? Because it's almost demoralizing, but I can't find a better fucking word.
Than ignorant down?
Ignorant down? No, bro. What the
fuck? Ignorance are a nicer way to say dumb sometimes, but it's not true. No, I don't know. I literally thought... To me, it was, I saw somebody comment how they didn't want it. The whole conversation started with somebody came in and asked, they weren't able to play the Predecessor stress test. They came in and asked if it had a penalty for attacking while running by moving, right? So if there was that, and they asked that because they said the videos that they've seen on it, it doesn't seem that way. And then asked about the back penalty, if there's a back penalty. And then that's when the whole thing came in. So then that's where I count, because somebody said, I don't think there is, but I don't think there should be either. Somebody said, I'm like, well, I definitely think you should be, because it takes away from the skill whole conversation I gave you guys already. And then, but even going on to the auto attack, like I think so RGSA said there was one, like that there is a penalty if you auto attack and moving and attacking at the same time. There is a penalty there. But I didn't feel it that much. As an ADC, I literally felt like I was able to keep going and shooting pretty much the same time. So I don't think the penalty is strong enough, in my opinion, as an ADC.
See, what I felt in Predecessor was when the moment you're shooting, your character slows down. The moment that shot is done, like it's already gone out of the barrel, you're in between shots, your character would speed back up. So if you were running and shooting, you'd be like, da, da. Like you would literally just be inching forward per shot. So, yeah, maybe it's just something that needs to be prolonged. Like, hey, if I'm holding my left click, you get me? Like the entire time the movement is slowed, as opposed to only when a basic attack comes out. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know if it's a 2% penalty, maybe jump up to 4% penalty. I don't know. Whatever the coding is to fix it. I deleted it in Predecessor. I don't think it was strong enough. I think it needs to be stronger. And I think you should have a backpedaling penalty is all I was getting at. And I thought it was weird. I'm like, what? Guys, like, I felt you guys would feel the same way as me, but I had to bring it up to you guys because I had the conversation today and I literally felt like I couldn't believe I was in the minority of that conversation. I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm amazed you found even a group of people that disagree with that. Like, I'll be real with you. Most of the people probably that we hang out with, right? Like on me, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I'm pretty damn sure most of the people we hang out with would be like, bro, that shit would be broken if there was no back penalty. Right?
People that want shit like that are the same people that go into a survival game and the first thing they do is start spamming general chat asking for people to give them shit.
What do you mean I have to feed them?
They don't want a challenge in their game. They're like, give me iron weapons. Someone please. Like, no, go fucking earn it. That's the point of the game.
You're right.
So can we actually segue from that a little bit more as to the casual experience versus, hard to learn? Because typically MOBAs are a hard to learn subject, right?
Yeah.
Could these games being third person MOBAs, right? It's already a new genre that they're trying to tap into again, right? I guess the argument could be Smite is there, right? But we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole. So they're arguably trying to tap into the third person genre market again. So I guess the argument could be, should they be making it hard to learn as well? Or should they be making it easier to remove the barrier to entry? Which we can see, a difference between, like, for example, Fault and Predecessor. One of them is removing barrier to entries left and right. Like, you don't even need to learn how to play a MOBA to play, for example, Predecessor and Overprime, and you can still have a blast, right? But if you don't have any MOBA knowledge going into Fault, you might actually have a really rough time because it's trying to be a little bit more of a hardcore MOBA. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
I do get what you're saying, but I don't know how to answer the question. Like,
I think that no matter what route they choose, they need to pick it and stick with it. Like, that's their vision. If they want a harder to learn, more competitive MOBA, then they need to pick that and stick with it, and advertise it as such. Because right now, Fault is definitely the hardest one to learn, I think, for new players. Predecessor is a little easier to get into. Overprime, I would argue, is harder to get into than Predecessor because you have to completely flip your switch of like what you think of as a MOBA in order to play Overprime well. Like, it's a completely different game. Like,
good point.
But they have a vision for Overprime, and they're sticking with it. They don't want the same game as Paragon was. They want a completely different game, just using the same heroes with different names. But Fault wants like what Paragon could have been if they would have not sold out to Tencent. And I think they should stick with that and keep with it. I like the way Fault is going. I enjoy Fault. Like, Fault's a fun game. I don't so much enjoy the way Predecessor has been going. I've been very vocal about that. I don't like how the jungle is so goddamn easy. I don't like the execute mechanic on minions. I felt that Predecessor had by far the most potential to become a true Paragon successor, but they're starting to go down the route of New Dawn version 42 Paragon successor instead of
Paragon. I mean, you pretty much give them the 3-card system, and it's identical to version 42 pretty much. And I don't disagree with you at all in that situation.
It's not a bad thing for them. I'm not saying that it's a terrible game because of that. I'm just saying it's not what I had envisioned for what I thought Predecessor was going to be.
Right. Oh, and a lot of people, a lot of the Paragon fans, or the Para refugees, as we call them, like they think that version 42 was the death of Paragon anyway. So, or at least that last nail in the coffin type situation. So that could also be a turnoff for a lot of the Para refugees in that situation, which we've always said that you can't just target the Para refugees as your audience anyways. You need to target a bigger audience. So again, like you said, that's not a bad thing for Predecessor. They just need to, they're going to lose some of their Para refugees. If that's that way they're going to go, they need to target a different audience and a little sooner possibly. But I think when it comes to answer your question, I think even all three of them, no matter how easy or hard they are, I think that just says how much you need to put into a trainable tutorial in that situation. Like, Fault right now being the hardest one out of the three of them needs a more in-depth, playable tutorial for you can understand what's going on and what you're trying to do. You can learn how to last hit, or understand what a last hit is, at least when you get into it. You can, understand where to look on the map and what to do from there. I think you need that in a harder game. Maybe you don't need it so much in Overprime. You'll learn that stuff as you go, maybe, because it's obviously has that little execute mechanic with their minions and stuff.
PvE is a big step for Fault. I'm so happy that they had that in the game.
Yeah. Windu, say that again.
My bad. So my thing is, Brian, it's weird, but we all know the satisfaction of being able to master a game that's difficult, right? There's a reason why, like, for example, they were mentioning in the chat, the reason Tarkov's popular. Not everybody's good at it, right? And when you find even moderate success, you feel rewarded for it. You feel me? Then as well, we have Fault over here. It's like, okay, so they're trying to stick to the roots of not only what they want, but what they think a MOBA should be, right? And they're like, hey, we're not going to dumb this down for you guys. We're just going to try and make it easier for you guys to learn. We're going to, venture ideas, videos, AI systems, etc., right? So I commend them for it. But I'll be real with you. Every person that I've seen that plays Fault got good at Fault and has played any of these other remakes. Well, one, when they play these other remakes, they look like they're fucking Tyler 1 just shitting on little kids all fucking day. It doesn't matter who they are. Because they've had the Fault training, I guess you could say, right? But
it's funny you say that. Literally, me and Magus were playing Overprime, and we played against Sockcap. Sockcap targeted me and Mangoose as we were playing because he knew we were Fault players, and it's like I was like, I can't let these guys get ahead because that's what was going on. And Sockcap will tell you, he's in chat right now, that literally he came in, he got in comms with me after. He's like, hey, I was like, no offense, because I knew you guys were Fault players. I had to target you guys.
Right, and that's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, they're what's that phrase? The whole nature nurture. How does that phrase go? You guys have been
the phrase is just a theory, nature versus nurture. Yeah,
nature versus nurture. So, isn't it interesting that even though it might be the harder ones to learn, the people that do stick with Fault end up not only preferring it, but they almost like look at these other games and they're like, this shit's too easy. You get me? Like they look at the game and they're like, a last hit indicator? What fucking holding your hand baby shit is this? You know? They're like, yo, like this is a little too easy. You get every ability level 1? Why the fuck did anybody think that's a good idea? Like that, those are thoughts that I've heard from Fault players throughout, and I don't disagree with them. You get me? Like, I do think some of these games have been dumbed down a little bit too much. But I kind of applaud Fault for sticking to it. It's like, hey, man, we know we got a bit of a harder game. We know it's not going to be for everybody. But we're going to stick to it. We're not going to sit here and dumb it down. We're just going to think of creative ideas to make that barrier to entry easier, which they still have to work on that, by the way. There's still a lot of improvement there.
What if, like, up till account level 10 in Fault, you go up to like account level 10, they give you that last hit indicator on the minions, and then after level 10 it goes to normal, and then you have to learn that. Is that a bad or a good decision to help newcomers coming into the game understand what's going on, what they need to do?
No, I don't think it's a good idea. No.
I mean, maybe, because the argument could be made. It's like, hey, if you're trying to teach a kid how to ride a bike, there's a good chance they're going to have training wheels first, right? And eventually you take those training wheels off. But I'm going to be real with you, take those training wheels off, the kid's still going to fucking fall because he never learned how to ride a bike the right way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he's back to square one.
I was talking to Ameda about it. They were asking me why I didn't like that mechanic so much. And I told them I felt like I was being given something that should have been earned. I think that's a part of gaming just in general, is that reward you get when you earn a skill, when you develop a skill, learn how to implement it, and then use it in a game to get an advantage. And whenever you highlight the minions red like that, you're taking that away from the player. And I just don't like that. It actually makes a little more sense to me in Overprime, because Overprime is less about farming and minions and stuff as it is about getting early kills and going for objectives. Like Overprime, if you like Here's the Storm, I think you'd like Overprime. And I like Here's the Storm, and I like Overprime. But you can't play it like it's Paragon. You can't play it like it's a MOBA. You got to play it like a hero brawler.
Yeah,
it's true.
I think very big distinction.
Didn't like Overprime. Just they were trying to play it like a MOBA, and you can't do that.
Deceiver in chat mentioned, how about having those assists turned on for AI but not for PvP? So it's not even a level difference. It's just, hey, you go into that game mode, that will be turned on by default.
I still don't know if that's I only brought it up just to kind of like maybe think of it, but I think I agree with Magus. I think having it in there just becomes a crutch, you know, and then once you get into PvP, now you don't have that crutch to stand on, you're falling over, you know, and that's just gonna hurt PvP eventually. Sockcap says, I think Fault just feels harder because it has to establish established player base. Have you gotten pretty decent? No, that's not what I want to say. What did he say? He said something about how, but once Pred comes out and established, what did he say? Anyways, he was basically, I was disagreeing with what he was saying. Oh, no, it's the Fault just feels harder. I don't think Fault does just feel harder. I think Fault is harder. You know, because like when I played Predecessor or playing Overprime and jumping back into Fault, Literally just the idea of last hitting. Like I'm still like, fuck, I'm missing my last hits. Like something I had down. I was able to, I'm like, all right, I got last hits, got this. And now I'm sitting like, okay, shit. Now I gotta find my timing again because like I'm sitting here thinking I have it, but I don't. Like that alone, just playing one, then going the other one, like you just like, oh man, like this is not it's that itself. I don't think it is just feels harder. I think it actually is harder. Now, I'm not saying it's like impossible. You know, you just have to get that rhythm back and figure it out. But I disagree. I don't think it is just hard. I don't think it feels hard. I think it is harder.
I think it's worth saying too. Part of the reason why fall might feel harder to a lot of people is because of the current balance that's in there. They've done their best to make it to where there isn't just a clear winner. Like, you get me? They've been working on balance for a while. Always a work in progress. But I think they made it harder by doing their best to balance it, which is not a bad thing. I think all these games also might be easier because you put on one fucking item and now you're three-shotting somebody. Like, the balance is all out of whack in these other games in comparison also, you know? And I think Fault does have that advantage that they've been working on balance for so long. Like, I'll be real with you, and this is still much love to the other companies, man. But if there's a group of dedicated testers, that I saw some unbalanced shit for a while, you get me? Which lets me know that they might have been just more focusing on bugs testing as opposed to balance testing, you know? Like, maybe they're just not focusing on that stage yet. But then my question is, when they get to that stage, how long is it going to take them to actually balance the game out? Because I'll tell you, like, Overprime, half of the roster is busted beyond fucking belief, bro. Like, 2 items, GG, you won. All right, go next.
Right. Mid dev says a fault tutorial mode against AI with things like incoming gank, last hit, setting lane, and team collapse indicators might be good, and not for honing skills, but for teaching players all the elements they should know about a MOBA. I think that's a great idea. Because right now you play PvE, you're not getting, unless you play mid, you're not getting a gank. AI Chimera does not come over if you're playing dual lane. You have to play mid for him to even come into the lane. So, like, the way the AI mode sits right now, like, it doesn't work that way. So you're not going to learn that.
I think you're saying it should be set up that way, though.
No, he is. I'm saying agreeing with that. I'm saying the way it is right now, it does not work that way. But to have it, a tutorial AI, like, going in, say, all right, this is all right, go into lane, or you walk into lane. It's like, oh, look at this. And they kind of are like, well, look, there's a Chimera coming at me. This is a gank. You have other people, like, then kind of give you an explanation of what a gank is. People don't. I had no clue gank was even a word when I was playing Paragon for the first time. I was like, what? And me and my friends laughed about it as we were playing this, like, oh, we're ganking, like we made it it was like a meme to us because the word just sounds weird. It doesn't even make sense, but it's there.
How do you guys feel? I don't know. You guys might actually disagree. I don't know. But do you guys think that these games holding these betas and weekend events and such, do you think that they're making Fault look better? Or do you think that they're actually putting up competition for Fault?
Well, that's not a statement that I can agree with or disagree. That was a question.
I'm asking you your opinion. What do you mean?
Yeah, you're asking my opinion, but you didn't give me anything to agree with or disagree with there.
Well, okay. My bad. Let's start off with that first one. Do you think these games are making Fault look better? There you go.
I think they are.
We'll hit the second one later.
Yes, I agree.
Interesting. How so?
I think Fault, Strange Matter poisoned the well very early with Fault, to where people just did not want to come back to it at all because it was so shit at the very beginning. But now people, they come back around for the people that are kind of interested in the para zombies. They come back around for Pred. They come back around for Overprime because of these closed beta tests. And then they see Fault and they're like, oh shit. Well, I guess it's not that bad. Or people that listen to some bad opinions about Fault, they look and see and they're like, okay, it's not that bad. And then they give it a try and they enjoy it. If only we could get enough players in here where people could have fairly even matchmaking, it'd be really nice.
I think that they're making Fault look better just because of balancing itself. You play Overprime right now and the ADCs are just destroying people. Gideon destroys people. Bora destroys people. Shouldn't be. They just balancing is not something that Overprime has done so far. They did it with this last maintenance patch they put out there. They did some balancing towards it, but balancing is still crazy in that game. And that's a Fault being as balanced as it is when it comes to the heroes. Like that right there just makes us look better.
And the kids. We just throw that out there. Some kids that I've seen out there are pretty fucking wonky. To be really true.
On the flip side of that, though, I don't think the balancing is as bad in Overprime as people seem to think it is. It's a bit interesting. Rock, paper, scissors in that game. There's certain heroes just hard counter other heroes. So, like Shinbi, Bora, whatever, she just hard counters the dog shit out of Gideon because she gets on top of him, dashes out of all of his shit, and kills him. But Shinbi herself gets hard countered by FaZe or Cynthia or whatever the hell you want to call her. So if you're playing Shinbi, you're going to think that FaZe is fucking overpowered. But if you're playing Gideon, you're going to think that Bora is fucking overpowered.
Okay, interesting counter argument.
Yeah,
I haven't played those mids. I know you've been getting into that mid game lately. So
I'm a mid laner now. Just through and through. I've left support behind.
But to say so, I might have to give you that one. But I'll tell you what, on the duo side, there's definitely just one carrier bust sort of vibe. You know what I mean?
Are you serious?
Yeah,
like, if you
maybe not now. I haven't played since the patch, but maybe Revenant before that patch.
When people don't know how to fucking play against him, sure. But the second you know how to just stick in your wave, or your support knows to walk next to you to negate all the damage of his obliterate, he's fucking easy sauce.
He's incredibly unbalanced, bro. Like the recommended build was having the 4th shot guaranteed every single time, 2,000 damage. Like it was not okay at all, bro. Is that okay?
Yeah, but if you build Sparrow right after 20 minutes, he's not going to get to that 4th shot.
Well, after 20 minutes, bro, but after the first item, that Sparrow is like, I need help.
I know, but it's rock, paper, scissors, man. It's rock, paper, scissors. Each character has their identity. Has something that they're good at.
And then like the kit, like with
like taking a knee in the middle of a lane.
Windu's latest video.
I hate that shit so much.
Oh my gosh, fuck that shit. Oh yeah, I can't. I don't use. I try not to use that. I quit using Murdock because I can't. I prefer Revenant in Overprime, so I use Revenant only now. I'm like, oh, I don't want to drop to that knee anymore unless I'm actually sniping. But I want nothing to do with this. No, the Muriel, your video you just posted of Muriel or Ira, whatever her name is, or Era. I don't care what her name is.
I don't know how to pronounce it either. You're good.
Yeah. I don't know. So, but like her ability to fucking throw a speed boost through the wall and shit, like
from like 37 million light years away, bro.
Like, that's kit and balance. Like that's like what? Like I get that being a part of her kit, but being able to go through the wall in that distance, that's insane. That's a balance issue.
Like, bro, I'll be honest with you. Nobody looks at a kit and says, what do you think the distance on that should be? Yeah, like 20,000 units. Nobody does that on accident, bro. Like, nobody does that shit on accident.
Man, you hit me with that shit from the bush while I was almost in mid lane.
Yeah, you were coming down the stairs by the reindeer, and I gave you a speed boost, bro. I was like, oh my God, it's busted as fuck. I was like, I gave him 2 speed boosts before he actually got to my lane. He got there that much faster.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest problem with Fault right now is that the bushes are way too big and you're not revealed when firing for the bush. So you can just stay in a bush.
You mean Overprime?
Overprime, yeah. What did I say?
You said Fault.
Okay, my bad. Or the bush is Fault.
Yeah, I was like, where's the bush at?
I call him Angus.
Yeah.
I get inside that tree. I get inside that tree. Y'all don't even know.
Yeah, they got some good manscaping in Fault. There's no bushes.
Yeah, bro. I can't. Loki turned it into an ad, not sponsored. No.
Yeah, not sponsored. Hey, but if you want to sponsor us, hit us up.
I'll shave my balls with a straight razor. I'm a man.
I'm a man. And that's how Mangoose was circumcised.
That's how I came the master
I fucking can't with you, bro. Jesus. I fucking can't. Y'all are special, bro. Y'all are something else. I'm glad y'all are here.
Right?
I'm with chickens though. Put some bushes in Fault. Put like shadow in Fault.
No,
dude, I'll be real with you. Those are kind of fun.
I like this. Yes, I like that aspect of the game for sure.
The whole, one tower when inhib still a little weird. But as far as, adopting some of the OG legacy designs to it, like some of the elevation aspects that you see in there and such, I'm honestly not mad at the map, quite frankly. Like, it's pretty creative what they've done. Absolutely horrible idea to put a teleport from solo to duo. Like, whoever thought of that, I'm going to be real with you. Send them back to the copy room. But besides that, I like the map. I really do.
Yeah.
And can I just say, speaking?
I did not see that. I don't even know who you're even talking about, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. But can I just say, speaking of maps, Fault started talking. Well, Sylvan specifically was the one that made.
Yeah.
Was it the first blog post or the second one ever?
Ooh. I'll tell you in a second, but it wasn't the first one.
It was like one of like the first ones, like definitely first 5. They mentioned the intent of a new map. And like the sizing, and he went into technicality of the ratio of the model to the speed and etc.
It was the fourth one. Fourth one. Dev blog. Yep.
What date is that?
And that was November 3rd, 2020.
That's one thing I've learned from Overprime and Predecessor is that Fault does need a new map. Like, I thought their map was fine, but after playing those games, I realized the deficiencies in Fault's map.
I would agree.
And that's Sylvan came out. Have you read that dev blog, Mangoose, back then?
No.
All right.
November 2020. We have a whole episode on it.
I'll post a link.
If y'all want to listen to us talk about it.
The episode.
Right, you watched the episode, all right? There you go. So November 2020 was when they officially were like, "Hey guys, we are going to make a new map. These are our goals for it. This is what we aspire to create." And we knew, well, not officially at the time, but we found out over time that they plan to do more of a revamp for the current map in the meantime, right? That a new map was still down the road, but for the meantime, we're just going to get a little TLC. Between time, sure. We're just going to get a little TLC for the current map. But I do want to say, I am no expert, but I damn sure have seen somebody on YouTube make a map in 10 minutes instead of a year and a half. And that is the ignorant side of me saying that statement, of course, because I don't know better. But at the end of the day, I find it very hard to believe that in a year and a half, they don't have a better map. So my question would be, why?
Well, if they want to decrease the amount of polygons rendered, which will help with optimization, then whenever they make a new formation, they then need to remake that formation. So that's going to take some time. They need to plan out routes, bug testing for the actual map itself. There's going to be a ton of bugs that are going to be extremely hard to fix. It's going to be hard to find some of those bugs. It might take a week, maybe a month to find a map bug, like what's causing it. So I think it may not seem like it should take them as long as it is, but I don't know. I don't think it should take them this long, but I can see why it would take quite a while.
But isn't that
take patch 14? Patch 14 with the new map, the update
the revamp
that we have now, the revamp map, right? And look at all the optimization issues that just happened. Just by doing that, it's the same map. It's almost everything's identical. It makes it's better looking, whatever, added some foliage or whatever, and the optimization just destroyed through it, right? So now you're creating a whole new map, and you got to get out. You don't want to implement this new map and have that same thing happen. So you have to go through and optimize that and get everything set up so when you do implement it, it's a smooth process. Because we've seen the issues that when it's not a smooth process where that can go, and we don't want that to happen.
So you guys actually bring up great points, by the way. Kudos. But what actually makes me wonder though? So I don't disagree with you. Maybe they want to just provide a better result, right? Maybe it just takes longer. But isn't putting more work into the existing map, which we thought it was just going to be that update, right? But slowly and surely they've been fixing, optimizing, etc., right? They got a pretty good optimization patch in that patch we were talking about that they released last. So isn't it like kind of going to fuck up their mentality when it's like, yo, we finally got this map to be perfect or pretty damn good. We finally got this map where we want it to be. Do we really want to start a new map and start all the way the fuck over with all the problems we've been fixing for a year?
Yes. Because this map is going to be used for something else, is my guess. I don't know the answer to that question, but that's my guess. This is going to be the ARAM map. This is going to be the AI map. This is going to be the whatever map. Like, I don't know. Just give me, think of something that this map's going to be used for. Or maybe they're going to alter it. Maybe like, hey, you want to load in? Like, hey, use Exodus. Bam. Here, use this map, because that's what this map's called, Exodus. I don't know what the next one's going to be called, but like, and then you could, there you go. So, but I mean, like I think so. Yeah, you want to get this to be in a good state too. So when you do use it for an ARAM or whatever else you're using, you have it. It's not causing issues when people use it for whatever that use may be.
You really think they might actually take this map and keep it regardless?
Yeah, why not? There's nothing wrong with that.
I like the idea of
just
using it as an AI map, because like it was mentioned in chat, like they would have to redo the AI and everything if they did a new map. Just keep this map for the AI and slowly transition it over.
Does that make sense though? Like, let's have everybody learn the game in a different map, and then when you go to PvP, it's a brand new map. Good luck, have fun. You get me?
Development wise, yeah, it makes sense. It doesn't make sense in a finished product.
But I mean, even then, like, it just learning the game is, I mean, there's certain aspects of the game if you're like literally trying to like learn to the finest detail, but just learning the game and understanding what a MOBA is, is fine on a different map. You don't need to have it to be on the identical map or something like exactly. You don't need to know exactly where the red buff is in the jungle. It doesn't have to be in the exact same spot. Like, hey, this is where I ran the other map. Where's it at now? Like, it can be somewhere a little bit different. You have the idea of, hey, red buff in jungle, blue buff in jungle. You understand that situation as long as you understand the. I just want you to know where to go. And, if you're a jungler, this is where you go. You jungle here, and then you gank here. Like, I want you. If you're a soul laner, you go here and you play there. Like the little things.
I don't know. Somebody just brought up in the chat something that we've been talking about for like a year and a half. I got a giggle out of it real quick. Somebody said maybe they just don't want to split their small player base, right? I'll be real. I'm of the I don't even know if it's unpopular or popular opinion, right? But I'm of the opinion that I'm like, yo, at this point, I really think they should be trying wild shit, and you could take the term wild shit as you want, right? Like to your own degree, I guess. But they should really be experimenting as opposed to being more than worried, right? Because that experimenting will bring people in. They can start doing polls, start getting people's opinions and stuff, right? Like even dropping an ARAM map. They don't have to leave the ARAM map in there forever, but they could literally throw in an ARAM map for a week. Let people play it, take it away after a week, and then be like, yo, what did you guys think? Should we have an ARAM map? How did you feel this map affected your regular PvP experience? You get me? Like, they gotta collect data.
They've already said that they already have. They're gonna have an ARAM like mode. So why would you not have an ARAM map if you're gonna have an ARAM mode? Like, it's already been stated. So I don't like. I understand what you're saying, but I almost feel that their time of just throwing shit at the wall and see if it sticks is over with. Now that these other two games are being more proactive. When those games were silent and nothing was coming out of them, that was the time to experiment. This time is now the time to put your nose to the grindstone, get the game to where it needs to be, and come out with free to play and take the lead. Expand on the lead.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because you're not wrong to the fact that they probably shouldn't experiment too hard at this point. They needed to, but it might not be the wisest at this point, considering that the more attention these other games with their budgets and everything get, the more people are going to look at Fault. And I don't think they can afford to be the guys that are like experimenting all over again. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you actually bring up a good point. I don't know. I'll tell you what though. Like, were you guys kind of struggling playing other MOBAs sometimes, and you kept comparing it back to Fault? Am I alone there?
I always compare them back. I always go back and no matter what one I'm playing, I always go back and compare it to all of them. So,
like, bro, I remember, like, what is it? During both Predecessor and both Overprime, which I fully support. I'm gonna keep creating content and stuff. Like,
right.
Like, what is it? The first day of Overprime beta that I got to actually play, I think I messaged you guys. I think it was. I was like, yo, my eyes are bleeding, or like I'm gonna claw my eyes out, or I said some stupid shit like that,
right,
in the chat, because I was literally like, I played 3 games and I was like, I honestly just don't want to play a 4th one. Like, I'll play with buddies. Like, I had a blast playing with like my little brother and with Quick and stuff, but it wasn't necessarily something that was like, yo, I can't wait to get home and play Overprime, right? I was like, I gotta play Overprime. I gotta record some footage for the YouTube, you know? Like, I'm still going to support them. I'm still going to make the videos, but I did not want to play that specific MOBA. I found myself wanting to play a Fault match. I might be alone in that shit, quite frankly. But
no,
yeah.
You're not alone. I know a lot of people in the community in the community that quit playing Overprime and went right back to Fault. So you're not the only one that felt that way. I didn't know what to do. I was like that in the beginning, but the more I played it, the more I got into it. The better I got with Revenant, the more I wanted to continue playing it. So I'm enjoying it more than what I was in the beginning when I was playing it. Because I did say in the very beginning, that first closed beta test that they had, I had a blast. Right. It was a good game. And what I said about it was, if you want to just go in and just go and destroy some shit, just get into a nice hero brawler, that's the game you wanted. Like, hey, I got 20 minutes. Let's go just fucking fuck shit up with Murdock. You know, that's what I was doing. I had a blast. I played it again this time, and I didn't feel that way the first few days that I was playing. I'm like, I don't know what it is. Something's different. I'm not feeling the same. But the more I get into it, the more I'm like, okay, I'm enjoying this. You know, gaming with you guys and getting those videos that we recorded. Then you guys already posted your videos. I'm getting ready to post my video on it. Making those videos, like getting that content, I was like, that was fun. I really enjoyed that. So, but yeah, no, there's a lot of people in the community that felt that way.
Still don't like him being quiet. Like, to be real with you, like, and I know Goose is gonna battle me to the death on this subject, but I still feel like something should be said out of Strange Matters. Any engagement on socials, you know?
They did the Gideon thing. Come on.
Anything.
You said anything.
that shit was a week and like a day or two ago or whatever. But like, you typically know how I am every time that we do the panel, right? I'm like, yo, I look at what's been going on in the last week. If I sit there and I'm like, they showed us a picture that only relates to those 10 people or Gideon mains out there, you know, like, it's just like, okay, whatever. If they would have maybe presented a contest around it or some sort of other interaction, I mean, hell, if you're going to just randomly start showing masteries, at least post one every like 3-4 days or something. You get me? And then create conversation around it.
That I kind of agree with that situation, because I'm still confused on what that Gideon one was. But I mean, like, why just Gideon? All right, show me what steel mains are, steel mastery looks like. Show me what, I don't know, Bellica masteries look like. Like something like what, like, I don't understand the point of that.
I mean, posts like that would be good.
Now do I continue? Because what I did is I got Master Murdock already, right? That came out instantly when they dropped the mastery system, and then I got Master Grim, right? So now I've been working on getting Master Sparrow, and then I'm going to work on Twin Blast next. Should I not work on them? Should I actually just continue getting points from Murdock so I can be the highest ranked Murdock there is? Is that what I need to be doing? Is that the point of that social media post?
Great question. I don't know.
I'm confused. I don't know.
You know, it'd be a great tool. Release information like that about the least played heroes to get people to play those heroes more. Like a hero that you might need data on. You get me? Like, do some Jedi mind trick shit on people and be like, check out how many people have been using Morigesh with Tiag or some bullshit that Mangoose might run.
Hey, I would be at the top of the list. Yay!
That's what I'm saying. Like, it would be a great way for them to acquire data. You get me? Or like, if they're like, hey, this is, you know, the top carries with like the highest KDAs and stuff. And then they out of nowhere, what if they notice it's like, hey, Twin Blast is at the bottom. So now let's do some sort of promotional thing around Twin Blast to get people to play him more. Let's see if we can figure out what is it that's making this individual fall behind to actually compensate. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot more usefulness to social media than just randomly posting shit. And I don't know, like, I feel like whenever it comes to Fault specifically, like, they have their moments that their content, like their social media posts, are on fucking point. Their interactions, what they do leading up to something, is like fire, right? It's like, hey, this was a good fucking week for social media for Fault. Like, that shit was pretty banging. And then randomly it'll be like, have you guys heard from them? Like, have you guys read a post in the last week? Have you seen anything? Oh, you either? Huh? Oh, okay.
I just think if they have good shit to put out, they should probably just wait till after Overprime CPT is done and then put it out. That's all I'm saying.
But that doesn't mean they can't post anything.
Right. I agree with you. I agree that they should definitely hold the good stuff until after CBT. But I can also see the point of just staying like Predecessor. Predecessor staying active. Predecessor doesn't have anything. They're not, but Predecessor has a decent sized player base, as we've seen with the last stress test. Fault needs to be that active, community, because if I, as a streamer, I could be playing and I could tell somebody about Fault, but hey, check out their Twitter, and they go to their Twitter, and it's like, well, this is the last, something that can just be active and stay active with it a little more consistently would be a better situation. I'm not saying put out something juicy, but post something.
Overprime CBD. I don't think it works that way. I don't think Overprime is the CBD. Overprime is more the methamphetamine of MOBAs. It does not relax you.
No, it does not relax you at all.
No, hopefully this Gideon thing was just them scraping the bottom of the barrel and that they have a lot of better stuff lined up and ready to go.
Yeah. And I what I want them to learn from this Gideon thing is to explain what they wanted from it. At least tell us what, because we're all confused on what that post was. Like, okay, thanks. If you're not those 10 people, like, why? What was the point of that? Like, give us something. Just like, hey, here's this. What do you guys want to see? With next, if we, I don't know, if we're doing something with more, adding more masteries, what would you want to see with that? Like something. I don't know. Like, give us something more with it than when you're making that post.
I got people in the chat asking what Gideon post we're talking about. So just for example's sake, I'm going to put it up on the screen because I knew we were going to hit this shit. I already had it pulled up, bro. Say less. I pulled that shit up before we went live. I knew this shit was going to happen. So, yeah, this is essentially it. Which, I'll be honest with you. I never thought I'd see so many toxic names get a shout out. I'm just going to throw that shit out there. To each his own, right? To each his own with their own experiences with certain individuals, right? But I don't know. It's not horrible stats, right? Like, it's kind of cool to see. But the lack of direction around the post, just kind of like, yeah, not sure what we're talking about here. But all right, cool. I'll vibe with you. But yeah, man, I'll be honest. What do you think, Coos? Like, if you see in the chat right now, everybody.
I'm giggling at chat.
You're getting everybody to say add jiggle physics. Yeah. I can't with you, bro.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, bro. But I'm conflicted as hell, bro. So you don't think they should post anything, just? Because I know you say good shit. I like, granted, any spicy shit, like new heroes new hero tease or new item teaser or whatever, like anything big, yeah, no, it's not the right time. Give it a bit, for sure. But
yeah, that's mainly what I'm saying is hold their big announcements until after the OP test. I don't know why they didn't continue with like what Ryan Red was doing with just the clip a week of like, different.
That was cool.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
the clip doesn't have to be like straight up amazing every time either. Just a clip, something of just showing the aspect of the game, just showing off the game itself. Obviously great plays would be great too. Obviously, then you don't want to see the good shit, but like just showing off, the game itself would be good too.
I also love, of course, we're being partners, we get certain privileges, right? And we might get extra posts that involve us, for example, right? We might get a priority is probably the best word to use. But I really don't feel like the just normal members in the community get enough shout outs. This is a way to like shout out their experience in game, you know? But instead of seeing this, I'd rather see a dope Gideon clip out of any of these players. You feel me? Like, just show me a dope as fuck Gideon clip.
I think that was the whole point of the whole thing, was to generate some interest in people sending clips in to get them posted by Strange Matter, no matter if they're a partner or not.
But
I don't think that was.
But there's no call to action.
Correctly, yeah.
There's no call to action.
Well,
yeah, people aren't gonna send in clips if you don't say, "Hey, send me the clip," or submit your clips. You know. And Twitch has a clip sorter. You could literally go last 30 days, sort by highest views. The most amount of views probably is gonna end up in something spicy. Those are free clips right there. It's just free shit to post, bruh. Free shit to post.
I don't know.
I'm telling you, I can sit here and argue all day about this social media shit. We can talk about anything else if you guys fucking want.
Yeah, let's go on to the roadmap and we'll run with that.
Do it up.
So I don't know if you're able to maybe put it on a
send it to me. I got you.
It's in the
write it on a poster board and then hold it up. We'll grab another.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't it let me just copy message?
See, technical difficulties.
All right. Control V. All right. It's in our.
Oh, I got you, bro. Yeah, go ahead and start talking about it while I pull it up.
All right. So the roadmap that was posted, I think it was Devblog 7, I think is what it was. Yep. Yeah, I think it's Devblog 7. So January 10th, 2021. They put up a roadmap, kind of what the things they wanted to do, right? New HUD, new map, client prediction improvements for smoother gameplay, things like that, right? And so I wanted to go over this roadmap and kind of update the community where they're at with this roadmap and how far they are and what still needs to be worked on and what has been done and how we feel about the things that have been done. So like starting with the top, the new HUD. The new HUD is done. Mangoose, what are your thoughts on the new HUD?
I think it looks great. I think they have the best HUD out of all these games. 100%.
I agree. Twitch, well, I'm Twitch. Reading the tab.
And it's interactive too.
Windu, what do you?
You just fucking call me Twitch.
I did because I was reading the tab and I was trying to click.
What? Yeah. You, that one guy.
TV.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely more of a visual guy, right? So the heads-up display differences were very, very obvious to me. I would say the faults is the most developed, but I don't want them to be like you know, kind of start tooting their horn like, we're good, we got a good HUD, we're good. Like, you know, there's always still room for improvement, right? So
we got good HUD.
Yes, they got good HUD. I can't with you, bro. I swear.
How much do you think they paid for that HUD?
Clearly they did it in-house, sir.
We got good HUD. We need that as a shirt.
Oh.
I want to see a programmer wearing a shirt that says, I give the best HUD.
I give the best.
I can't, bro. Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. So the eyes situation. So a community member made this list, right? And the eyes. So if you see eyes or like that, is because actually the eye emoji, and when you copy paste, it literally just comes up as eyes. So a new map, that was them like looking like, hey, where's the map at?
I'm just gonna put question marks there.
Yeah. So that's new map, not here yet. That's still something to come. The client prediction improvements for smoother gameplay. This is done as well. This is that when Fault first dropped, if you played on EU, you almost could not, like, guaranteed. If you're an NA player playing on EU or EU playing on NA, you could not play as an ADC because it was almost like playing the first Predecessor Alpha, and you couldn't aim your actual shots. It was pretty bad. The client prediction system now makes it to where you still notice it, but it's not as noticeable. Like, it's actually pretty smooth in comparison to what it used to be.
I mean, I will say, out of client predictions, I thoroughly enjoyed Vaults the best. Like, as far as how smooth it felt playing at higher ping, I thoroughly enjoyed that one the best. Just throwing that out there.
I think it's one of the few things that you can say that Fault has objectively done better than the other two. Like, everything else is kind of subjective, opinion based. Fault is just better. They just have better net code, and their input system, like being able to queue abilities, you really feel it in Overprime when you play Countess, which I hadn't played Countess since fucking Legacy Paragon, but like, you want to dive in and drop her kit all at once. You can't do that in Overprime. You can queue 2 abilities at most, but you can the ability queue system that they recently added in default. It's really nice and it feels really good.
Yeah, no, 100%. And the somebody in chat just even says they can play ADC now, and I don't know where they're playing from and what they're playing on, but yeah, so that's just it's definitely improved. It's huge. The main menu redesign. Thoughts on that, guys?
I don't know if I like the fact that this has done, because I don't think there's a main menu redesign. I think they just added tabs to the main menu.
No, there's definitely a main menu redesign. It is better. I'm not saying it's perfect.
So wait, are we considering the fact that the background changed, the redesign?
The tabs, the whole thing, it's all set up.
Because I don't know, maybe I just haven't really paid attention to it, but like, for me,
or it's just
the
ago that it happened.
Yeah, maybe true.
Because back in 2021, January 2021 is when they put this map out, and then they changed it. So that's what I'm saying. This some of this stuff has been done for a while, but it's been a while. So yeah, that first menu that we had, it was pretty janky in comparison. So I mean, this one can definitely. I'm not going to say they give the best menu out there, but they can work on it.
As long as they give good HUD.
Right, exactly, right?
Can't with you, bro.
So the next thing they have up here is the replay system. That one's still question marks. But ability casting improvements and input buffering. We just talked about that. Mangoose was talking about that one, how that one feels so much better.
Yeah. Right said about peace.
Yep. We're still getting new items. That was on here, and I think that's something that's just going to continue to happen. It's like you could almost put new heroes on there, which actually you might even be something on here. But items. I mean, I hope they don't just stop making items. I hope they're like, all right, here, you've reached your 200 item limit. We can't put any more in. I hope they just continue making it, but we'll see. Mastery system, it's done. You guys' thoughts on that?
I think they did it pretty damn well, to be real with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the progression, people still want a lot of customizability, which I feel like there's a big lacking in Fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, argument could be made skins, right? But there's still a lot of people that want like more ward skins, more avatars. They want like borders for their shit and stuff, right? And I mean, teach his own. It'll come down the road, but I've seen a lot of people compare Fault's customizability to like Smite's customizability. Smite, yeah, they're on point with that shit.
Yeah. I want, and it's like I'm only comparing it to Paragon, but where it's also a Paragon remake. I want the banners. I want a
death banner.
A death banner that I want. Like, so you get a gold tier death banner, you get a diamond tier death banner, you get a master tier death banner. I want that banner. I think that'd be great. That kind of gives you that it can. All it has to be that the little picture, that PFP picture, whatever, the banner of the people, like, and then it could be just the actual skin banner. Like, all right, gold tier. Here's a gold skin Murdock, diamond skin Murdock. I want that banner. I think that'd be great.
You know, what'd be cool for them to use for banners would be community submitted illustrations, like people that have put stuff into the fan art.
That would be awesome.
That would be dope as fuck.
That would be.
That'd be cool. Shout outs.
Like that bunny girl counter skin. That shit was fucking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. All Celsa did a good job on that one. So that's just river and prime, pre-prime objectives. So lesser helix. And now you have your river buffs or your shrines. Guys, thoughts on those?
It's interesting how they implemented them, but I mean, they did implement them. They balanced them throughout the way. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if I still feel like a shrine shouldn't attack you, right? Like a free buff that does no damage to you, etc. But I mean, they're designed in a very intriguing way, and the buffs that they give you are very unique too. I definitely think that the river objectives still get a little bit of love, but they are there. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm very partial on this list because this is like, did they do it or not? I mean, they did it, but that doesn't mean I find it acceptable what they did, you know?
And that's why we're having this conversation. So it's done. It is in the game. But I think also, like, in that situation, like, it's a MOBA. Things are going to get nerfed, adjusted, you know, whatever, however you want to say it, you know, buffed, whatever. Like, things are going to change, you know, as the game changes. So now the situation of a shrine attacking you, or not like most other buffs do, I could see that being an argument, or somebody not liking it or whatever. I'm okay with it. I'm okay either way. Like, it
still provides a reason to create engagement, you know? Exactly. So it still serves its purpose, even though the actual objective itself I disagree with.
Right. And maybe somewhere down the line they'll add, you know, their own little IP of this, whatever this thing is, attacking you while you get a buff. You know, that could be something that goes.
Could be placeholders.
Right.
Very true.
So, training mode not implemented yet. Guys' thoughts on what you want training mode to be?
Training mode like a tutorial, because AI is technically training mode. You can go in there and practice.
But right below it says AI game mode.
Training mode like they have in Overprime is really nice, where they have like target.
Test
stuff out on.
Okay.
Yep.
I would love to see that. 100%.
Yeah, I would love to be able to go in, because what I don't like about AI game mode right now is you could go in with training mode. You could put on whatever in Overprime's training mode. You could put on, all right, I want this item, and you could see how much effect you're going to have with your auto attacks or your abilities or whatever with that. Right now, you have to literally grind AI mode out, get that much gold, put that on, and then go through and try to hit, you know,
and it's never consistent, because that target's going to have different items depending. It's very hard to plan out. I used to do that shit in Paragon for videos, and oh my God, was it a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I bet that was. So, favor system rework. This is something they talked about. I don't know if it was the last dev stream that they had or a one before that. They talked about they want to do a rework to the favor system. I think something more needs to happen. I don't know what. I don't. I like the fact that it's got a favor system. I think it stands itself out compared to the other two MOBAs that we're talking about. Like they don't have something like this, so I do enjoy it. But I think they just need more to it. I think it's almost like there's not enough meat on the bone. Does that make sense?
It does make a lot of sense. They have reworked the favor system a few times, but I still don't think they've gotten it to where they want it to be. So I think this is going to be a work in progress.
No, and that's kind of why I brought it up, because like I said, this was put out in January 2021, but just recently in one of the last two dev streams, they said they still want to do this. So I was more saying that it's not a finished thing. This is still something that's going to have to continue doing. And we'll tie this in with favor system rework. We'll tie it into the aspect system rework as well. That was also tied in with that same dev stream that they want to change the aspects up a little bit. So I'm excited for that. Would just catch you up a little bit? We're talking about favor system rework and aspect system rework.
Dang, you guys already made it down there? I stood there for like 3 seconds on the baby.
We were at trading mode and game mode. We're literally right there.
All right, so what's up?
It's not my fault you got a baby unless that little girl's got blue eyes.
You better chill, man.
Shit.
The disrespect. What are y'all talking about, bro? Touch me up.
Favor system rework and aspect system rework. I was tying those in, say that this roadmap was put out in January of 21, right? But just recently, in one of I can't remember if it was the last dev stream or this dev stream before that, they said they still wanted to do this. So even though they did kind of do a favor system rework before, that it's not quite finished where they're at. And I was saying to Mangus that like I enjoy the favor system. It's something that sets them apart from the other two MOBAs because they don't have anything like this. But I feel like there's like not enough meat on the bone with this. If that makes any sense to you.
Yeah, you know what I think it is? The original favor system, I think, was actually pretty damn unique, right? That original,
yes,
it set them apart. But I think they realized very quickly it was very difficult to balance. It ended up being like the prime dunk, right? It's like, yo, this is kind of cool, but holy shit, is that a nightmare to balance? You get me? So
can you explain the original favor system? Because I don't remember. It's almost
okay.
Like the
right?
menu, I guess.
I know, right? It's okay, bro. They have medicine for old age. It's normal.
You're the one that doesn't remember the menu, all right? Don't even.
Bro, I don't remember shit. But that's a different issue.
Right. Yeah, they have medicine for that. Anyways.
You're not wrong. Anyway, so yeah, the original favor system, for those of you actually didn't know, right? The original favor system used to scale the items that you equipped.
Oh, yes. It
used to scale items that you equipped. Many, like very few actually got to use it. But if you would build, let's say, this specific item, and each item was unique. It's not like, hey, you build red aspects, you get attack speed, and that's it, right? That's very one-dimensional. Before, it was like, hey, if you build red aspects, but you have P-Blade, every point gives you 1% attack speed on that item. On the item. So the item was evolving. If you build red items and you're building this one over here, this one gives you 0.5 pen per item. So you could actually sit here and be like, yo, I want to do, like, let's say out of nowhere, I'm like, okay, I need these items for the utility, but Jar of Hearts would give me attack speed if I built into purple randomly, right? So you could literally start kind of messing with stuff. But one of the reasons why they went away with it is because the builds, even though the favor system was very complex and a lot of people liked it, the overall building became like picking a Crayola out of the box, low key. It'd be like, you build red, Like if you're building red aspects, build all red items so all your red items would scale, right? And especially back then where the items were limited, it led.
A lot of people also didn't understand how a favorite point, what a favorite point did. Mm-hmm. Even though the item described what it was doing, they weren't able. There was a complete disconnect with that, and they couldn't understand it.
Well, that was also partially their fault. Because don't forget, it would say 1 point of favor, but then the item said +1 rank gives you this.
Yep.
That shit made no sense whatsoever. I was even me. I was like, "The fuck is that rank shit talking about?" And they were like, "Oh, that's the favor." What doesn't it say favor?
Yeah.
What? So, but I think they want to get to like that level of complexity, to where you could build the same items on 3 different people, and it affects them in different ways, or it feels totally different, not like the same exact generic build, right? And they've kind of moved towards that direction for the characters, because we've seen that they've made a lot of changes to characters, Greystone being one of them. And the way that they change his kit, the regen while you're fighting and all that shit, right? Making certain items react differently on them, or be like, hey, you can actually use a improved self heals on a Greystone, not just a Chimera now. So giving the characters a little bit more identity, so kudos to them there. But I think that's what they want to do. I think they want to get to a point where that shit's going to be so unique, like it's going to add an entire level of complexity. They're just trying to figure out how to get there without making people scratch their heads 24/7 trying to play ball.
Yeah. Deceiver, I'm going to need you to explain your hashtag there. You said hashtag rework Boris. What do you want reworked on Boris? Because I actually enjoy Boris as is. So, let me know what you're talking about. All right. So that was AI. That was favorite system and aspect system. Another thing is a Raptors rework. And it's not done yet. What I want to see with Raptors rework is I want to see the evolving buffs, like Predecessor and Overprime have. Like you get it, you get Raptors once, you get this. You get Raptors a second time, you get this. You get Raptors a third time, you get this. That's what I want to see. I want to see something similar to that. Not just, hey, you get 4 favorite points out of it.
But because you get the 4 favorite points out of it, you do get
the buffs,
a buff, and you get to select where that buff goes. I think the Raptor is actually a great use of their favorite system.
It is a great use of favorite system. I just want, I know Predecessor, the way they have it, the way, it's the, everybody gets a 6% bonus, to their added to their whatever it was, and then the next one's a 12% bonus or something. I enjoy that more than, because I'm getting that favor in other ways, that's, especially like, I don't know, maybe just rework your aspects then, I guess, in the situation, because like as an ADC main, you pick red, right? I'm forced to pick purple just so I can add more to it, because right now, after so many red, you've already maxed out attack speed. Like there's nothing else you can do. Like there's no point of putting favor into red anymore. But I do the red aspects. I prefer those stats more than I prefer the purple ones. But because purple is physical power and I want to put a favorite point into it, I have to now pick rogue or whatever one I want to pick just so I can now put favor into that. Right. But I would rather have ace hunter than rogue ace or rogue hunter or whatever I pick, like I feel like I'm pigeonholed into how I have to pick this because I have to go that way.
I mean, you feel pigeonholed, but it forces you to make a meaningful decision. And I think that's important for any kind of game.
But it's not like I literally, no matter what ADC I pick now, I guarantee pick rogue ace every time. Like I literally, there's no reason for me to pick the other 2 red aspects. Like, and there's no right as like the other 2 purple aspects mean nothing to me as an ADC. Like I literally feel like this is all you get. There's no diversity to it in the aspects, even though they're there. There's just, to me, there's no point in actually picking them.
What if they provided? Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, what if they provided diversity within the aspects? Like actually just have like 5 each for now. Just give a lot more. Like, you know how they have varieties of items per color class, like a blink trouble item, like items that are almost the same damn fucking item, but with a twist because the colors change. You know, why can't they have that on aspects?
They could do that. I would prefer that they go by roles and give 5 aspects, each aspect tailored
The
to the role. Like have a purple aspect that's support based. Like if you,
Okay. Yeah,
like any crowd control movement ability, you get like also weakens the opponent by like 5% or some shit like that.
So a green aspect that's support based, a purple aspect that's support based, a red aspect that's support based, and then do that for every role. That would be great for me. I'm okay with that.
That'd be spicy.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
And then you could throw shit around and be like, hey,
you
know what? I'm gonna grab this solo item as a jungler because I know it's gonna be good for me. But the solo still has that option.
Take a wee.
I fucking can't with them, bro.
So D Trigger says King is way better than Ace. And you're probably 100% right. But for my style of gameplay, the healing, especially when I'm solo queuing, the healing off of Ace is better for me for sustaining and staying in lane or whatever. So I prefer that. That especially because I think King gives you more attack speed, and then at that point it's like I try to avoid the attack speed because you're already going to get that in favor points through the way. So that's kind of where I go with that. What we got to ask for Raptor
tutorial?
That playable tutorial. That's something that's definitely needed. They're not here yet. Obviously it has a question mark. They have the AI game mode, but it's not a playable tutorial. It's not really showing you the game. It doesn't walk you through it. And I think a tutorial needs to walk you through it.
Doesn't it almost make you feel like playable tutorial might have been easier than a full-on AI mode?
I mean, it would have been, I think, but I think it also would have been it would have been great for the new players, but it would have been not like no point for the majority of the player base. At least AI game mode is
like best of all worlds.
Everybody gets to use it. I get to go into AI game mode and test an item on somebody. You know, it takes me a minute I got to sit there and fight through and get that item tested, or test an aspect on somebody. All right, I want to try this aspect on this, see how this feels. You know, you get to at least do that in the playable tutorial would not. What's that going to do for me? As I'm already been playing the game since, EA opened, like that would not benefit me at all.
So the same argument could be made as far as training mode and playable tutorial. Because at the end of the day, if they say, hey, we got to input one of these, training mode will benefit everyone. Playable tutorial is only the new people.
100%.
So how long is it going to be till we get a playable tutorial?
But I think you that those two should tie together, in my opinion. I think when you implement a training mode, it should also, like, the training, the playable tutorial should be in that.
It could easily be like the same section of the map too. Just like Overprime did it, where it's like, hey, the playable tutorial's here, but you can always go back to the map and practice shit. So it's not just a wasted map, so to speak, right?
Exactly. Right.
Not a bad idea.
Definitely do that. Mangoose, playable tutorial.
Love it.
Love it.
Moving on.
Item reworks. They've done some item reworks as they go, but I think this is going to be something that's just going to be an ever evolving thing, like a MOBA is.
Yeah.
I think
never going to end.
It's always going to be there. Putting, in my opinion, actually, and this is just being a dick, I guess, because I want to say it, but like putting that in a roadmap is like just saying
we're gonna work on our game.
Put
right?
balancing in there too, because that's what you're gonna do. Like it's a MOBA. You're always gonna be balancing no matter what happens. So yeah. Visual and animation polish. Improving greatly is what the community members said here. And I agree. Like these last few optimizations have definitely made the game look and feel better. The animations, seeing some of these animations, how they're coming down, they're coming through as they're doing a visual and sound effects reworks with the actual with certain heroes as they go. Definitely improving.
Am I the only one that wants them to crank this knob to like 11 out of 10 in Fault? Like the visuals and the animations, it's like I feel like a lot of the changes that they make are safe changes. Am I the only one?
Things seem easy, like Twin Blast with his Summer Fun Twin Blast skin. Why doesn't it shoot water? Like that would be such an easy fix. They just make it blue. Make his projectiles blue. You know?
I don't know.
I think they've done a pretty good job with this overall. But like when you look at Predecessor and you see like Howitzer's bombs exploding, like his basic attack bombs exploding, and then the Fae like sticking flowers throughout the environment and stuff. Like they did a lot of work on their visuals and just for basic attacks, and you don't see that with Fault. It is something that I would like to see them improve upon.
And I think they're going to. I 100% believe they're going to, because that's the one thing I noticed. Because when I first started following the Parazombies, I didn't follow Overprime, right? It was Predecessor and Fault were the two that I followed. And just me being not even the Fault partner at the time, just me being the para refugee that I was and paying attention to these two companies and how they were going about, my blind eye, I could see that, or untrained eye, I could see that Predecessor was going more of the visual beautifulness of the map and everything within how everything played, and Fault was going for how the game actually plays, like your actual like Mangus. I've heard you use the term game loop before. Like Fault is making sure the game loop is playing the way it's supposed to play, that the items are working the way they're supposed to work, that everything's doing what they're supposed to do. Like, this is the game. And then now we're going to work on the prettiness of it and how it looks. Like, and now
credit where it's due too.
Predecessor now has to get that game loop and everything, and has to get that balance in and all that stuff that they're doing. They have to work on that. So like they're almost like they started at completely different points, and they're trying to get to that same end point together.
Yeah, that makes sense.
One's trying to get there different.
No, you're good. You're good.
Before the other.
Well, no, like I was saying, credit where it's due. The Strange Matters, bro. Because it is one of those things that they got hammered for how the game felt, right? They made it feel better. Like, granted, the visual and animations should still be stepped up, and hopefully they step those up as we go forward, right? But I will say, hindsight being 2020, playing all these games like a month or two apart from each other, you can definitely feel the difference. I'll give them that. Shout out to them, because the difference in the actual gameplay is noticeable, even to like untrained eyes. Like people that play, they're like, yo, it's definitely feels better in some areas for sure.
They brought Mangoose back.
That was a long time ago. That's old news.
That's patch. Well, this roadmap, bro, is brought out before you came back.
Oh, really? That was patch 13 that I came back.
Yeah, that was patch 13. You came back.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of my issue. This is kind of the issue, kind of the reason I wanted to bring this up, right? Predecessor announced like 4 days ago a roadmap and kind of gave an idea where they're at, right? And so I'm like, well, what about Fault? What are we going to do with that? And I knew they had this roadmap, and then somebody, because of what Predecessor did, somebody kind of a community member went through and updated this roadmap. But we haven't really had an update since then, right? Yeah, we know that there's stuff that there are a few things, as you can see, that are still being worked on with this current roadmap, but like an update, like a talk, like, hey, like, let's take this off of there because that's done or something. Like, this is what we're at, or here's, I don't know, like having a, what is that? Is that the Trello? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
You know, so you have like, hey, this is finished. This is being worked on. This is what we intend to work on later on. Having something like that. We don't need dates on them, but just having that. So the community can go look at it, like, okay, they got a lot of shit done. All right, this is what they're working on. I'm excited to see what happens. That's what they want to happen. I can't wait for that to be implemented. That in itself will generate hype.
I think something that's missing from this list and what's missing from their roadmap in general is console progress.
Yep.
100%. The main thing people care about.
100% agree. We did visual animation polish, but the same thing is with the sound polish and Old Hero sound reworks. We talked about that. Unless you want to talk more about it, the way you.
Fault has terrible sound engineering, and I apologize to whoever their sound engineer is.
I don't think they have a sound engineer, do they?
They have to.
I feel like
even the reworks for like Kwong and Chimera, it sounded worse than before. And like Sparrow, if you notice, like whenever she hits a minion, that hit, you get that feedback before you get the feedback from her bow twang.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of weird audio.
Now that you said that, yeah.
stuff going on with Fault, and I really hope they fix it because it does break immersion quite a bit.
So I remember
audio is so important. It's so much more important than people give it credit for. And
I don't completely disagree with you. Don't completely disagree with you because I remember I just jumping into the predecessor stress test, or the when we were able to do the content creator event that we were able to do, and my first time hearing the game, since the last stress test, like those sounds were on fucking point. And that's what I said. Like right now, like sounds are amazing. Like Richter's chains.
Richter footsteps are creepy for sure.
Yeah. They were
that definitely startled you.
Like,
damn sure.
Like, that's like, I feel like I could play Fault and not even have the sound on and I can just play the game. Right. But I feel like if I'm playing Predecessor, I want the sound on because I'm going to hear the enemy, the jungler footsteps coming behind me. Like I remember being in mid and I had my teammate Rampage run behind me and I'm like, what was that? And I freaked out and turned around like, oh, that's just my Rampage. Okay, got it. Let me continue farming. But like you heard that stuff. Now that stuff is hearable.
Audible?
Right?
Audible?
That stuff is audible in Fault, right? But it's not immersive enough to be like, you're like, whoa, what was behind me? Like, let me turn and check. Like, it's not there to the point where like, oh, you could hear like, all right, hey, I know somebody's in the blue jungle. Just so you know, like enemies in the blue jungle, whatever. Like you can hear that stuff that's there, like, and it'll help you with the game, but it's not like, I don't know, it's not there. If it makes sense to me.
I still think it might be because of I can't answer 100% right, but I really don't think that they have like a sound engineer or anything like that in the team. I think all their sound is outsourced because I believe I saw a Strange Matters post that they were partnering with like a company for audio at one point or something like that, or maybe around the Decker stages. But I know for a fact that Predecessor has their own sound guy. I know that because he's also the one that made the sound for my transition. Like he was just wanting to make cool sounds and he's like, hey, Windu, check this out. What do you think about this sound? I made this shit for you. And that shit was, I don't even know how the fuck he made that sound. Like me being an audio guy, I was like, I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what kind of random, like, let me grab this wrench and smack it outside sort of bullshit sound he just came up with. But that shit was actually lit. So I know that they have a very good sound engineer like there with them, whether it be for creating the actual tracks that they got in the menu, etc., whether it be for the individual sounds. I know that they have somebody in the team. The Strange Matter, though, are they looking for like somebody in sound? Yeah, because I don't think I saw that in the job listing. Has the job listing changed by any chance?
No,
Could we peep that?
You're more than welcome to. Go ahead. I don't care.
I'm gonna look it up while we chat.
yeah, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm here to make jokes and occasionally lay down some fucking knowledge. That's it.
Occasionally.
All right, MVP / rating system. This is something that like a game like Overwatch or Paladins have. Other games have it too as well. I can't think of it on the top of my head right now, but like I think even Valorant has it. You can kind of rate somebody how well they did or whatever. And then you get like, you also let them know like, hey, this person was the MVP of the match. This is something that I think is just more like a quality of life. And I think it'd be great to have.
True.
Yeah. Like Overprime has like the graphs at the end and the stats. Like even that would be really, really nice.
Right.
Not even like an MVP play of the game. If we just had that, I would absolutely love it. Because I love looking at that stuff in Overprime, mainly because
for your own satisfaction.
The heroes, and I'm always at the top. So,
but I will say it's nice to see it in a game as opposed to having to go to a third party that a lot of people may not even know exists.
Right.
Yeah.
Another game, so it actually closed down. An old viewer of mine came in and said it completely closed down. Genesis is no longer a thing ever anymore. Like it was a thing for a while, but it should never. But they had an MVP and SVP. I think it was like secondary valuable person or whatever. I don't know what the S stood for. I know it's most valuable, but I don't know what the S was. But like, so you had your MVP was the winning team, and your SVP was your MVP of the losing team. So that was something that was cool that they had implemented. But just seeing that, like, all right, hey, like, you know, and it almost gives you a reason to try a little harder. Like, all right, like just, you know, just something like, all right, hey, pushing for this, you know, not necessarily the most valuable play or whatever, you know, like, you know, hey, this is like the best play of the game, whatever. Although that would be cool to see that, but I don't know if that's something that you can. Sometimes it's hard to rank that unless it's just like a double kill. Like, here you go. This person has the double.
That's typically how it goes. Like whoever got the best kill count is like, if you got a triple, that could have been the ugliest triple all game, bro. But you got the kill cam, right?
Yep.
Am I the only one that actually really, really liked the all chat at the end of a match in Overprime? Just being able to talk to the enemy team.
It was so toxic for the most part, but there were moments where I did have good conversations with the enemy team. But for the most part, it's just fucking toxic.
I could be okay with never, ever, ever having all chat. I'm okay with it. Like it literally means nothing to me. I don't even pay attention. I don't even pay attention. There's a button right next to all chat that says leave game. I click it. That's what I do. So I don't even read what the hell's anybody is saying. I click that button that says leave game. That's what I do. I didn't even know for the longest time that they had the graph thing until Mangu says about. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I clicked the leave game that's right there. I don't read any of that stuff. Like all chat to me is pointless.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. I only read it when I win.
Everybody talks about how a MOBA is toxic. Well, don't read all chat. You'll be okay. Like it's not as bad if you don't read the all chat. Like we just actually improve toxicity because we don't include all chat.
There was a game in Overprime. I was up against Clone, Rosie, Black Tims, probably some more. I don't even know. But it was a fucking knockdown drag out. Like it was a really, really good game. And it came down to the wire. And they ended up winning, mainly because Clone was just fucking rocking it with Murdock. But, you know, at the end, we were having a good time, like talking to them because we knew them and like, hey, great game. And Clone was like, you know, you guys did really well. And I was like, you only won. I said, you only won because of your biceps, you know, like shit like that. But then Black Tims is like, GG easy or some shit like that. And I was like, have some class, motherfucker. Have some class. You know what I mean?
Oh, bro.
Like, we're all having a good time. And then this motherfucker wants to be like, even if he's just joking, like, have a little bit of class. Act like you've been there before.
Act like you've been there before. Oh, bro. But I will say, Granted, if you're somebody like Bearded, you could skip it easy. Like I said, I only read the all chat in that game if I won. In any game, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not sticking the fuck around if I lost. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear from my team. I don't want to hear from the other team. Like, the worst all chat experience ever is when the other team actually feels bad for you. Fuck that. I don't need that in my life. I'm getting the fuck out. But it is cool. I don't know. I just think it's a feature that should be there, but should be optional at the same time.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Even win, loss, draw, I don't care. I want nothing to do with it. Get me out. No. Honor system. I think that ties in actually with the MVP and the rating system. I think it's that same situation. Unless you guys know of an honor system that's a little bit different, where that would go.
So I know in League and some other games have implemented unique honor systems where how you behave in game, you actually get, let's call it in racing, let's call it like a safety rating, right? Like how good of a person as a human being you are. The more toxic you are, somebody can report you and now you're a 98. Now you're a 97. So whenever you filter through matches, it'll filter through ELO and honor system. So if you're like a toxic piece of shit, and let's say like you're barely like pass fail, you're at a 60, right? Because you're always toxic as hell. There's a good chance you're going to be playing with other 60s. Get me? And then a lot of games like that, it'll tell you it's like, hey, you will improve the quality of player that you go up against if you improve on your own score.
Okay. You know? I think Overwatch has something that's kind of similar to that with that voting system I was talking about. Like the end of the game, you can kind of like say this person's they have like, it's called a shot caller. They have a good teammate, and then they have like something else. The other thing you could say vote with this, right? And I think you might even be able to downvote somebody too or whatever. But like you get somebody those upvotes, you kind of level up in that situation. I never looked at it as an honor system, but I think after like you kind of level up as you go and you kind of get like this prestige with you. And I think that just kind of I don't know what it does. I don't know if it adds you into those other, I don't know what I would have to ask my Overwatch friends, what more that's going to do. I just saw it as like, hey, look, I'm getting some points. Sweet. I don't know what it does.
League has the exact same thing. And for example, like if you want to test something that's coming out, like something new to the game in the test server, you have to be at least honor level 3 and you start at 1. You get me? So you have to earn your way into certain privileges like that. And the higher honor you are, the more privileges you get, so to speak.
Got you.
You get better preference in matchmaking and stuff. Like, it's almost like, hey, it pays to be a good community member, you know?
Right. Last one here is ARAM mode. We all know we all want ARAM mode. ARAM mode's great. Didn't Overprime a while back have like an ARAM map, but wasn't it only like 3v3?
Yeah.
So that would be very similar to the jousting that Smite has, right?
In a way. Their map was very linear, where in Joust it's more like a boomerang shape.
Yep. So my question with tying those two together, what would you guys think about like Fault having an arena mode like Smite has?
I think it'd be cool. It would draw in some more players. Maybe right now is not the best idea.
Oh no. This is
player base, of course,
something.
But like down the road, I wouldn't mind it. I probably wouldn't play it myself. I'd probably just play the regular conquest mode, as it were. But I think it's a good idea.
You know, what's funny is as a Paragon player, right? I was playing Paragon. I brought somebody into Paragon, and this is like Smite. I play Smite. I'm like, okay. So then they brought me into Smite to try it out. I'm like, all right. And they took me into Joust. And I'm playing it. I'm like, I can't understand these items. Like, this is fucking insane to me. I didn't like it. I'm like, nope, I quit playing Smite. I'm like, I'll go back to Paragon, right? Because I have my 3-card system that I liked. And I'm like, all right, why nothing to do with it? And then I got back into Smite. and I played Arena with some friends. I'm like, okay, I mean, this is how characters work. All right, I can do this. I have never to this day played Conquest.
Really?
Really?
Never played like just main mode Smite?
Nope. Never played the actual Smite game. I've only played the little games they have outside of it.
Come with me. I'll support you with Sylvanas. So it'll be just like old times.
You're a mid maid now, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, that's true.
Bro, right? You better stay with that Kokokin in mid lane or something, bro. You better chill out.
Yeah.
No, but
I need an actual support main for me. Okay, I don't need no fucking mid main wannabe support guy here.
No, I will say though, I'm actually curious as to how you would actually feel playing other MOBAs now that you're like more experienced in MOBAs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I completely know what you mean. I don't want to do. I played HOTS with Mangoose. I enjoyed playing HOTS with Mangoose because of the people we played with him, Menace. We played with a bunch and Stunt. We played with a bunch of people. I enjoy playing games. We can literally just go play whatever the fuck you want to go play as long as we're all playing as a team together. I'm gonna have fun, right?
Hey, by the way, I need to connect 4 mid rematch, bitch. No, I'm just throw that shit out there. I'm still salty about that shit. You can continue.
So, but I mean, I can, as long as I'm playing with friends, I'm gonna have fun, right? It's more of how the game plays. I can't go play League and enjoy it. If we went 5v4, it was a 5-stack into League, I'm gonna have fun. We're gonna get our ass kicked because of fucking Smurfs galore on League, but I'll play and have fun because we're playing all of us. But I can't go. The whole click and point, click to move. I can't do it. Same with HOTS. It's the same situation. Like I'm good if we play with people, but I can't do that. So Smite, I can play Overprime by myself. I can play Predecessor by myself. If once I learn Smite and learn the items and the characters, how they are, I could probably go play Smite by myself and actually enjoy it because of how it is. It's not the click to move type situation. I just haven't done it. I have friends that literally they play Smite a lot and I just haven't jumped over and joined them because I got fault that I can play.
So
where I'm at.
Smite actually has a auto build feature, an auto level up your abilities feature. And that is a great thing for new players in general that I would like to see like Fault implement like their own version of for new players. Because a lot of people loved builds in Paragon, right? Like they had, whether it was a legacy build or whether it was a monolith build, like they had their builds. I feel like people still want to create a build, bring it into the game, and they could turn on auto build if they want or not. You get me?
Right.
But I feel like a lot of people actually still want builds. Might be tripping.
I mean, I want builds myself. I really want my own, but I also kind of want like a hybrid of that. I want like I want to be able to click on it like the little click on a button. You know how on the panel, on the left side panel, you have your attack, your physical power, your physical pen, all those things on the side. I want to have a button that's my build. Click on it, and these are all my items that I prefer to build. Right. And then that way I don't have to go through and search. Because right now, like if I'm playing Boris, right, that purple cleave item is not on the recommended build. So now I have to go search for that purple cleave item, or I got to type it in or whatever. Like if I literally just put it in my build, I now have, here's my 6 or 8 items, whatever that I put in my build. And it's like, all right, now I can just build from here. So I don't want it to I don't have to be an automatic build because it's going to depend on how things are going. I might need to build an armor item first instead of building an attack item, so let me put armor on. All right. Now I'll put an attack item on, or if I'm winning, all right, let me put the attack item on first and then I'll put armor on. But it all depends on how things go. So I don't want it to be an auto build. I want my build. So I could, here you go. This is what I want.
I also like the way that early Paragon did it, where you were locked in. Like you had to, you made a build. You took that build into a game, you were restricted to that build. I know that sounds...
You want that?
I want that. I know that sounds bad, but again, it forces a meaningful decision, and the decisions you make outside of the match affect how you play the match. And you felt good when you were able to make a build that matched up to 60 card points and also included enough flexibility to adjust to any situation.
I think that could be a different mode then, I guess. I don't want that. I like because as much as people like to troll in a sense by picking, certain heroes and certain roles that don't normally work, like you would have to adjust your build sometimes according to that, and be, like you being pigeonholed to that situation because like, all right, hey, I'm going Greystone. I'm going to pick this Greystone build. And all of a sudden you're like, well, wait a minute, this build isn't going to work because they completely picked way off. Like this isn't a hero that's going to match up against this. Like now you're fucked. Like, it's like, well, sorry guys, we lost this game from the get-go because I didn't grab the right card build situation. Like might as well FF now. Like, let's just get out.
Well, there was flexibility in the builds.
Yeah. And that would have been a big skill diff too.
You weren't restricted to like 6 cards, right? Like, or 6 items. No,
but I mean, like, I don't know. I still feel like I felt like that card. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way I built it. I was ignorant when I was playing stuff with it. I just feel like that build, that card build that you had was like idle. Was made for like one path. It wasn't like, here we go, we're gonna make all these bunch of different paths.
Yeah, I mean it's a path anyway, so.
True, but I will say, if you really think about it, Default did get inspiration out of the color coding from Legacy. Because before, if you were Greystone and you wanted to go full tank, you would go green and yellow. Green used to be health, yellow used to be armor. If you were Greystone and you wanted kind of hybrid, you would go yellow and red. Red was physical damage, yellow was armor. You get what I'm saying there? Oh,
no.
There was color coding, but they were locked to 2 per.
It wasn't 2 per. It was like Greystone was white red. You could only pick white red
on Greystone.
Yeah, I mean that may be wrong, but you were locked to 2. Like
I know that every build that you build, if you put a red card in there, and then let's say like a green card in there, you were stuck. That deck was green and red. You couldn't put any other color variation in it. So you would have, like, if you were Greystone main, you had like 7 different builds that you were like, yo, heavy CC, this build, full DPS, this build. And you would coordinate, right? So like you would prepare based off of the draft because you picked your build after the draft was done, right? So kind of like to what you were saying, Bearded, it's like, yes, if you pick the wrong build, you're throwing. But that's kind of like saying right now, if you pick the wrong aspects, you're throwing. True. Because you're throwing. Like, there really is no way around it. Like, you knew who you were going up against. You knew who you were playing.
Of that, they still need... I love how they changed the aspect picking screen, but they still need to show the enemy team during the aspect picking screen. Because there's times that you just forget who you're going up against, and you need to know, like, hey, is this a heavy CC team that we're going against? Because if so, I'm picking Rook. If not, I'm picking Titan or whatever, or however that might be. That's information that is needed, and if you don't have that from the aspect picking screen, like that's like it's very tough to go through that. So I think that's something that they need to have there.
I don't disagree, but you know how many times I've gotten as a response, not necessarily from SMS, right? But every time I'm like, yo, I really need this fucking feature. Because I'm horrible at it. I never fucking pay attention. I will always ask my team, I'm like, holy shit, did I pick Muriel? Yeah. Like, I don't even know what the fuck I picked, bro. I'm like, am I Muriel?
Well,
do they got CC?
They did fix that with the new aspect screen because it literally has that person's face right in front of you. You have. Yep. I know that I'm Murdock because the Murdock's face is sitting right in front of me. So I know what aspects to pick to help pick for me because I know what you're talking about. The way it used to be, you would join in and you're so used to playing support, but now I'm playing mid. Oh fuck! I didn't
with support aspects.
I'm mid and I pick support aspects. Son of a bitch, that sucks.
A lot harder to do now. Yeah,
they fixed that, but I still need that enemy team comp to know what it is, because if you don't have it memorized when you're like, going in, like, oh shit, was that a CC heavy team, or was that last match that we went against was a CC heavy team? Because I want to know what to build compared to that.
Where would they put it?
That's pretty much it out of the map, where the road map here. I still think they need to add the Trello. They need to make a little Trello. Put no dates on it. No dates at all. Completed.
Just progress.
Currently working on. Intend to work on. Just to show progress. Because I was telling Mangoose, that itself will just generate hype. Because people will see, oh my gosh, they've done all of that already. And then say, ooh, this is what they're working on. And oh my gosh, I can't wait until they put that in the game. That right there will just generate hype.
Yeah, but I don't think that they will, because I think it's been very clear, or they've made it very clear, that Strange Matter.
They need to.
Yeah, but like, have you noticed that Strange Matters, like the order that they announce it versus the order that they actually give it priority, it's like so out of whack, bro.
Yeah. No, and they've made mistakes. They've stepped on their own toes. They've done these things. And they've learned from it. Hence the reason why they no longer have not a roadmap, a Trello that they used to have, like whatever that Trello they had. I had dates and stuff on it. This is planned for Q1. This is planned for Q2. This is planned for that. Actually had time frames on there. Don't give me any time frames at all. Literally, just give me what has been done, what you're working on, and what you plan to work on. That's what I want. I don't need hey, this is planned for Q1 2023. This is planned for Q3 2024. I don't need those. Don't give me those dates. Don't give me those time frames. Just give me an update.
Get bearded something.
Fluid. Have it being a fluid, updated thing. So hey, we finished ARAM mode. It is now over here in the completed section. Whatever. Now we're currently, this was, something we plan on doing, but we're currently working on it. Now it's in the currently working on section. Oh man, they're currently working on this. It's getting closer. I can't wait.
So let's do this. Let's go ahead and end it, because I didn't even realize, bro, we're almost 2.5 hours. We actually went past what we usually do.
This is just talking away on this one.
Right, bro? Yo, chillax, homie. So as typical, guys, we appreciate everybody that's been following. Do not forget, you can watch these live every single Friday on Bearded Wolverine's channel. You can watch them after the fact on YouTube the week after, so it will be a bit delayed, but always available. They are always going to be available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Also, you just got to search Fault Partner Panel on there. And let's go ahead and say our goodbyes. Goose, lead it off. What do you got to say? Let's do this. Instead of to the community, what do you have to say to Strange Matters?
I love that you gave me good HUD. Over to Bearded.
There's something else, bro. I can't with you.
I thought I was the only one that got the good HUD. But apparently Mangoose got it too. So I guess I'm a team player in allowing this to happen. But no. Artbang, how we doing? Anyways, no. Keep up the great work. I literally, since I know you guys don't like time frames because of how things happen in the past, but literally a Trello with no time frames on it would be huge for the community. I think it's something that you guys should definitely make happen. The community would love to see something like that. So that's my 2 cents to you guys.
True. And I would actually just throw in there also to Strange Matters. People like to see progress. let's not forget, like we talked about that a little bit in the past too. People like to see progress, not just the end result. Like showing a little working progress, showing a little, hey, check this out. End goal. We're hoping that we can finish it, you know, like before free to play, for example, you know, throw a tease in there, whatever the hell you want. Just a little work in progress. Like actually getting stuff done, not just showing the end result. I was totally gonna throw a HUD joke in here, but yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna be you guys. I'm not gonna do it, bro.
Hey,
come down to our level. Windu,
put in just the HUD.
Come down here. Just the HUD, just for a minute, just to see what it feels like.
Oh my gosh. I can't with you. Maybe next one. I got y'all. Tune into the next one and see if I do it. All right. All right. Much love, homies. We appreciate everybody tuning in. If you actually made it this far, as traditional, leave a GG in the comments, in the chat, wherever you're watching this, because you are a fucking trooper. But till the next one. Peace.